Welcome back to the podcast. Hell yeah. How are we? What are we saying? It is 2023. What? First and foremost, Happy New Year. I hope that this year brings you everything that you deserve. I don't really like wishing people a Happy New Year in the sense like, I hope this year brings you everything that you want and shit like this. No, let's be honest. You know my attitude. You need to go out and work for it, whatever you want. So, wanting something and making it happen is two different things. As you can hear in the voice, I am a little bit under the weather. Don't worry, it is self-inflicted. And as you all know, if you are a big fan of the podcast or follow me on socials, I have not been about for the last, I'd say about, it'd be coming up to 20 days, almost 3 weeks. And do you know what? When I came home, I thought, business as usual. Let's go, Nath. Let's start as we mean to go on and continue in that vein. But when I got back, I hate the word, I just wanted to be present, you know. But I just wanted to enjoy the time that I had with friends and family. I haven't been home for Christmas for about 4 years. So that is the reason why I thought, no, I'm going to go tools down, just relax, take some time, really focus on what I want to achieve in this year coming up. Because I remember going into last year, my thought process was very much, next year all I want to do is take my foot off the pedal. And I know that sounds really weird, but what was it? Christmas 2021, was that last year? I can't work it out. But basically, I felt really burnt out, not this Christmas, last Christmas. So that would have been 21, yeah. So I said to myself, my New Year's resolution is to take my foot off the gas and go easy on myself, which I think is important. You need to be kind to yourself, so on and so forth. But this year, definitely my mindset isn't there. This year is the year of everything happening as it's meant to. And I mean that. I needed the downtime to reset, recharge, but I genuinely believe that this is probably going to be the best year of my life. And I'm actually going to take the probably out of there, because it is going to be the best year of my life for my wealth, health and happiness. And that is the goal for the year. I want to do things that make me wealthy. I want to make sure that I'm incredibly healthy to enjoy those. And ultimately, I want to do as many things that I can to make me happy. Now, as you can hear in my voice, I have been absolutely caning it since I've been back. There was about a 2-week period. I think I only stayed at home once because I was just out on the piss, and I was probably having a sandwich a day, and the rest of the time I was drinking Guinness. And I'm not even too ashamed to admit it, I was also vaping. And what I realised was that vaping was very heavily linked to the amount of alcohol that I consumed. Every time that I had a beer, I'd have a vape, and then I'd be waking up. I wouldn't be drinking, but the vape would be there, so I'd be vaping a lot, which is probably why my voice sounds like shit. So, this is day 3, no vaping, no drinking. I don't actually know how long this will last for. As some of you may remember, I did 6 months without drinking, and honestly, it was probably the happiest 6 months that I can. Well, it stands out as 6 months that was really happy and good for me. So I don't know how long I'm going to do this time, but those are 2 things that I'm going to be cutting out in 2023. And I think that's important for you. If you're listening to this, what you need to understand is there's going to be habits that you need to leave behind in 2022. And these habits are sometimes those that feel bloody amazing. Like for me, I can't tell you how much I love Guinness. Guinness is like a part of me, honestly. And it makes me incredibly sad right now to know that I'm not going to have a Guinness for a long time. But what's more important to me, having a Guinness or just feeling on top of my health the whole time? And I'm not saying that drinking, I have a drinking problem, that's far from it. But what I would say is, as I say, like this year I'm focused on wealth, health and happiness. And I think that my health is at a different level when I do cut out drinking. In terms of the way that my brain works, that's one thing that I noticed after about 5 weeks of not drinking before. It felt like I actually had a brain between my ears, and you may laugh at that because you might be thinking, oh, he's actually quite intelligent now, or well I hope you are, but yeah, my brain just acted very differently. So I'm going to do that again. The vaping again, it's just a habit. Like, I've never smoked a cigarette in my life, so I don't have a clue why I vape. Maybe it's the taste of it, but that's something that I want to knock on the head, because ultimately sucking something into your body that goes into your lungs just for the taste or a little head rush, that doesn't really sound like a good idea to me. So that's two things I'll be cutting out this year. As you will know, last year, the back end of last year, my world was rocked. My world was flipped, turned upside down. Not like the Fresh Prince, but obviously I got hit with a 3-year ban from the country that I wanted to make a life in. Now, I'm a massive believer that everything happens for a reason. So for me, I'm on my path. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't affect me in a way where I'm like, oh, I just want to go back. Like, obviously I want to see my mates, I want to go down to Bondi, I want to go for my sunrise dip. These things will never change. But one thing I realised that was at the core of me wanting to go back to Australia was to settle. And that is a huge goal for me in 2023. And I don't mean settle as in settle for a life that I've got. You know, I'm not built that way. But I mean settle as I want to start planting the seed to lay the roots to the tree. And what I mean by that is I'm going to be 31 in about a month's time. I think it is actually a month today, a month yesterday. So I always joke with my mates that we're dangerously close to having serious responsibilities. So I think now is a good time for me to think, right, okay, where do I want to settle? Obviously that would have been Australia. Well, that's not true. I thought it would be Australia. However, when I was in Bali, there was definitely some doubts about it, because there is a part of Australia that just has a never grow up mentality, which I love, but also I can't be a child forever. I want to be like a immature adult maybe, but that's a story for another day. So yeah, a big goal of mine this year is to really set some foundations, and I won't even lie to you, since I've been home in the UK, which is mad, I'm calling that home now, it really is completely different to when I was here before. I feel a lot more settled, I feel very relaxed, I feel like I've enjoyed the cold weather, believe it or not. It's the coldest weather I've experienced in about 4 or 5 years, so yeah, it's been crazy. But everything that has happened over the last few weeks, I know it's been Christmas, so everyone's spirits are high, but the big focus I think this year is to find out where I'm going to settle, because it doesn't mean that I'm not going to gallivant around the globe, because that's just who I am. Freedom is part of me, but finding out where to settle is going to be huge for me. And now I really want to go into, obviously with the podcast, I want to give as much, it's the Nathan Joseph podcast, so I want to basically tell you what's going on in my life, but always give you a little nugget of how I've used something to improve my life and how it can potentially improve yours. So a huge thing for me was I would say probably 4 or 5 years ago, I'd go into every single year prior to that. This year I'm going to do X, and this year I'm going to do Y, and this year I'm going to do Z. X, Y, Z, yeah. And it never happened. And it never ever happened. And that is for one simple reason. Actually, I'm not going to say it's for one simple reason, because it's not a simple reason, and there's a few reasons for it. The first reason it never happened is because the goal was too broad and too big. If you want to achieve your 2023 goals, make them into small, digestible chunks. For example, if I go to Nando's, I'm going to order a whole chicken, but I'm still going to cut that whole chicken up into little mouth-sized pieces so I can get through it. And at the end of the meal, the whole chicken is in my belly, not on the plate. I'm not trying to eat it in one, dangling it up above my head. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a crocodile. So small digestible chunks is what you need to have your goals, whether that's business related, relationship related, friendship related, health related. Every single goal needs to be digestible. For example, when I say, this year I'm not going to drink, that's not the goal. The goal is, for January, I'm not going to drink on the weekend. Yeah? And do you know what happens when I don't drink on the weekend? I don't drink at all, because I don't drink through the week. So, rather than me saying I'm not drinking for a month, if I say I'm not going to drink for 4 days in January, well, that seems pretty fucking easy, doesn't it? And then from there, it's right, cool, I won't drink for 4 days in February. And the reason why I'm saying 4 days is because it would usually be 1 day on the beers. Yeah? Whereas if I was to say, I'm not going to drink all year, by the end of January, I'm going to be thinking, I've got 11 months to go. By the end of February, I'm going to be thinking, I've got 10 months to go. Whereas if the goal is digestible as just January, well, I've already ticked that off. Then February, well, I've already ticked that off. So make sure the goals that you're setting for the year are really easy. Not easy, because you want to push yourself outside your comfort zone, but digestible. So you're going to get a sense of achievement the whole time that you're achieving them, the whole time that you're going after them. And also, they're not so far out of reach that you have the opportunity to give up on your goals as well. Make sure that they are about the process, not about the outcome. Yeah. So for example, there I'm saying for 4 days this month I'm not going to drink alcohol. So for the 4 Saturdays in January, I'm not going to drink alcohol. I'm not saying the outcome is right. I'm not drinking. Yeah. Or let's relate it to health. I'm not saying I'm going to lose 10 kilos this year. All I'm going to be saying to myself is I'm going to do 4 gym sessions a week this year. So every week, at the end of the week, I've done 4 sessions. What a great week. Tick. Let's go on to the next week. 4 sessions, tick. But you'll lose 10 kilos quicker than you can blink. If you do it that way, you will lose 10 kilos quicker than you can blink, because you're focused on the process of getting there rather than the outcome. Because as I say again, if it's on the outcome, you'll lose a kilo and you won't be thinking, oh wow, I've lost a kilo. You'll be thinking, I've got 9 to go. 2 kilos, 8 to go. 3 kilos, 7 to go. So on and so forth. As you can see, my brain's a little bit rusty this morning. So when I made that change from outcome to process, my life changed completely. So that's what you need to do as well. And also, strip it back, trim the fat, yeah? That's a key. If you want to achieve your goals in 2023, there's several things that I want to do. I want to climb Machu Picchu. I want to jump out of a plane again. I want to do a bungee jump. I want to visit Japan. I want to go to Canada. I want to go to New Zealand, right? These are all goals that I want to do, and preferably in 2023. But are they my core goals? Are they what I truly want to believe? achieve this year? The answer's no. They'd be nice. They're like the parmesan on top of the bolognese, yeah? Love me some spag bol. But keep your goals just to the core ones. So write down a list of 10, 20 goals, but strip the fat and trim the fat down to 2 or 3 goals that you can really focus on. Because when you do that, the year's going to be a success. You can't look at it as a negative year if you achieve your top 3 goals for the year. So that's going to be the best way, in my opinion, and what's really worked for me is I will write out all the goals that I want to achieve. I will have the 3 that I want to achieve the most, and I will go after them hell for leather. And I would honestly suggest you doing that as well, because I mean, if the last 3-4 years are anything to go by, they've worked a bloody treat for me. So I have no idea why they wouldn't work for you. As I've said a number of times, I'm just a normal bloke from Upminster that spits bars on a podcast. So with that being said, if I can implement it, so can you. I do know that this is going out. I'm probably going to put it out on a Wednesday. If you're listening to this in the future, congratulations. But the pod will be going back to Mondays as of next week. It was just obviously coming into the new year. We had a bank holiday yesterday. I wanted to make sure I was enjoying it. I've just had the best time. I've just honestly had the best time at home. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's been bloody lovely. But yeah, as I say, today this will go out Wednesday. And we'll be going back to Mondays, every single Monday this for 2023. You're going to have me in your ear holes. You hear me? Apart from probably the final week of the year, because I did really enjoy having that as my week, and I might continue to do that going forward. Because it is very rare that I have time off, and you might think, Nate, all you do is post on Instagram, but this is true, but it is a full-time job. It is being glued to your phone 24/7, which is something that I don't want to be. But anyway, less of the rambling. If you're on YouTube, please do like and subscribe. If you like my jacket, let me know. It's from a thrift shop. That's right, a thrift shop. When I went Burning Man. What? I went Burning Man? Yeah, I went Burning Man. Don't worry about it. If you're on Spotify and Apple, please 5 stars. You know, just get the podcast up there. Get it doing Stephen Bartlett numbers, because why not? Anything's possible, isn't it? Anyway, let's charge up. Let's absolutely have 2023's pants down. And I mean that. This can easily be the best year if you attack it in the right way. So I'll be doing exactly that, and I can't wait. I might even put this as like a little thumbnail so we can see what's happened at the start of next year. Maybe I've got my ban lifted. But no, thank you for listening, honestly. I absolutely love doing this. I can't tell you, I've missed it. It's only been a week away, I think, but yeah, it's been, I've been eager to get back in. Much love, and I will catch you next week. Have a good bloody week.